SpongeBob, do you remember that little talk we had about personal space?
It's okay, Squidward. I'm official. Look.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst things Squidward has done.
Patrick, you are the dumbest idiot it has ever been my misfortune to know. You can't just sculpt willy-nilly. You gotta go by the book. Follow the rules. Otherwise, you'll never get past amateur hour here.
Squiddy has long been the most miserable person in Bikini Bottom, but he's also one of the worst. These are the moments where he proves just how awful he can be. What do you think is the most horrendous deed the cephalopod has committed? Share with us in the comments below. Number 10. Sabotaging SpongeBob's audition.
Here I go!
That is the stupidest dance move I've ever seen.
Who put you on the planet?
Our big-nosed narcissist thinks he's the best dancer in Bikini Bottom, but that may be true only under very specific conditions. Unexpectedly, he immediately grows jealous when SpongeBob's dancing at work lands him an audition. To help his neighbor nail the audition, Squidward has SpongeBob carry out extensive exercises. The first few end in frustration, but he finally gets SpongeBob to the point of exhaustion, causing him to miss his audition and allowing Squidward to steal the spot.
Well, SpongeBob, have you learned the moves?
And a one, and a two, and a...
Thankfully, Squid gets a taste of his own medicine when he finds out he'll be dancing for his rival Squilliam. Number 9. Cheating on Employee Brotherhood Day.
Oh, no, lad. You know the rules. You have to make the gift.
The only thing I'm making is for the exit.
Is this any better, Squidward? I made this one with my tears.
The task was simple. Make a gift for SpongeBob in honor of Employee Brotherhood Day. The only stipulation Mr. Krabs enforced was that the gift could not be bought. And yet, making a gift was just too taxing for lazy Squidward. As a cop-out, he winds up buying a pie from some shady-looking pirates.
We were just kidding about all that bomb stuff. That'll be $25, please.
So what flavor is it?
Apple. Raspberry.
Despite their half-hearted attempts to disguise their bombs as decadent treats, Squidward still buys one off of them anyways. It isn't long before they discover the dessert's explosive nature. Yep, Squiddy, you nearly took your neighbor's life because you couldn't bring yourself to make a crummy gift. And it only cost you 25 smackaroos.
You had to kill him. The boy cries you a sweater of tears, and you kill him. How are you gonna live with yourself?
Kill him!
Here's your order, sir.
Thanks.
Number 8. Going on strike.
Attention, people of Bikini Bottom! You have been cheated and lied to!
I knew it.
Fed up with Mr. Krabs' greedy, cheapskate behavior, Squidward decides to go on strike, and manages to convince SpongeBob to do the same. Now, there isn't much wrong here. Squidward is exercising his rights and trying to bring to light something he sees as an injustice. However, his downfall is when he finally gets SpongeBob to embrace the strike.
And me and Squidward are gonna stay on strike until we get what we deserve, even if it takes forever! 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 Forever!
Inspired by Squid's dedication, SpongeBob decides to go and dismantle the Krusty Krab entirely. And to think the two were about to have their demands met. You got no one to blame but yourself, Squidward.
Squidward! SpongeBob!
Number 7. Filing a restraining order.
Oh, really? And do you think I don't know that this grill is...
We all have bad days, but for Squidward, one day gets so awful that it sends him into a mental breakdown, and it's all because of an accident caused by SpongeBob. In retaliation, Squidward comes back with a restraining order on his coworker, preventing SpongeBob from coming within 15 feet of him. This mean-spirited move only causes more problems in the Krusty Krab's operations. Luckily, Eugene manages to hire Patrick to act as the middleman between SpongeBob and Squidward.
Notice anything? Different? Huh? hint.
However, Patrick proves to be way more annoying than SpongeBob ever could, which convinces Squidward to alter the restraining order.
I'm releasing you from this order
Really, Squidward?
and adding someone who's much more deserving.
Sorry, Button.
No, Patrick! You!
Number 6, nearly destroying SpongeBob and Patrick's friendship.
Hi, Patrick.
Look, we understand that SpongeBob and Patrick can be too much to handle, especially when they become overenthusiastic about even the dumbest things. Still, that doesn't excuse manipulating them into hating each other. On what was supposed to be a quiet and enjoyable day, Squidward is disrupted by the two blowing bubbles filled with messages to each other.
If I had $1 for every brain you don't have, I'd have $1.
The grumpy cephalopod decides to start blowing bubbles filled with insults, tricking the two into thinking that they were still talking to each other. Yeah, you aren't getting pity for the eventual soda disaster.
What a surprise. I invited them in, and I left them alone. Well, Squidward, what have we learned today?
Number 5, stealing SpongeBob's diary.
If SpongeBrain is keeping the book away from me, then I have no choice but to read it.
I'll take that, thank you.
Just how low can Squiddy go? Well, low enough to be amused by publicly humiliating someone, as we'll see later on. For now, our eyes divert to Little Yellow Book, which sees him stealing SpongeBob's diary and reading it aloud for Krusty Krab patrons to hear.
What do you think of Mr. Krabs' new plaid kilt?
Lad?
What makes this devious deed so awful is that Squidward shows no remorse for his actions, even when all of Bikini Bottom begins to scowl at him. Despite all of this, he steals SpongeBob's diary again and blatantly admits his lack of guilt, all while laughing his head off.
Squidward! How could you?
I don't care. This is so worth it.
Number 4, taking advantage of SpongeBob's hospitality.
There. You can come live with me. Here you go, Squidward. You sleep in my bed.
Okay, but just till I get a job. 1 day, 2 days tops.
Nonsense. You stay as long as you need to.
SpongeBob ought to be regarded as a saint for housing Squidward after he lost his job, because it turns out the grumbling grouch is an awful housemate. Much of the episode, Can You Spare a Dime?, shows Squidward being unbearably needy as he expects SpongeBob to be at his beck and call. As if things couldn't get more ridiculous, he orders SpongeBob to wear a maid's outfit while doing his tasks.
And why aren't you in uniform? It's about time you got here!
Honestly, we totally sympathize with Mr. Absorbency, even when he goes into a fit of frustration. And to think all of this happened because of a stupid dime.
Because when I need a job done, I get someone with a job to do that job.
What are you saying?
Number 3, humiliating SpongeBob for loving his grandma.
Isn't this great? Everybody's in a good mood today.
I love bursting your bubbles, SpongeBob. They're laughing at you, not with you.
You know, one would think an older individual like Squidward would avoid acting in an immature and childish manner. Who are we kidding? This is Squidward Q Tentacles we're talking about. He'll gloat and laugh at anyone he deems beneath him. So, of course, he'd make fun of SpongeBob for getting kisses from his grandma. On top of that, he manages to get several Krusty Krab patrons in on it, and they all laugh and mock SpongeBob even after he cries his heart out.
I have been publicly humiliated for the last time.
Kids, don't let this dumb adult fool you. It's perfectly fine to get kisses from your grandma.
Grandma, could you not mention this to the guys down at the Krusty Krab?
No problem.
Number 2, neglecting Gary.
You need to take Gary for a walk twice a day.
Saturday,
In the
and
morning,
Sunday. A 3-day weekend.
One of Squidward's worst traits is how he puts himself before literally anyone or anything else, and this was crystal clear in I Was a Teenage Gary. All Squid had to do was take care of Gary while SpongeBob was away for the weekend.
Ah, the snail! I forgot the snail!
The poor snail ends up starving and getting dehydrated while Squidward gets to enjoy himself the entire time. Thankfully, Gary only needed a small drink of water to get back to normal. Even so, it's almost hard to believe that Squidward would stoop this low, and yet here we are.
Eat! You gotta finish this food!
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Serving terrible food. How do you work at a restaurant for 17 years and not know how to cook?
You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness! Squidward!
Faking an injury. He really thought he could just live off workers' compensation for the rest of his life?
Faker!
Tricking SpongeBob and Patrick into thinking he's dead. At least his time as their master would grow frustrating for him.
SpongeBob, I have a confession to make.
You're bald?
No, I'm not bald! I'm alive!
Denigrating SpongeBob's artistic skills really shows the lack of humility in his soul.
There is nothing artistic about leapfrog. What are you doing now?
I call it Rippy Bits. You take a bunch of old ripped up paper and you make a new picture out of it. See, you're on top this time.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The April Fool's Prank.
What did you do to my drink? You what?
You asked for a couple of ice cubes in your drink, and I only put in one!
Squidward, it's time we have a chat about April Fools. The first day of April is meant to be about joking around, pulling some harmless gags, and sharing a laugh with someone. What isn't funny is publicly humiliating a person and forcing them to endure serious physical pain. Yes, in the Fools in April episode, Squidward sends SpongeBob flying around the Krusty Krab, smacking him into walls, crashing through objects, and landing him in a filthy garbage can.
April Fools, you little sausage!
Talk to anyone in the SpongeBob fan base and they'll tell you this was the single meanest thing Squidward has ever done. And we all thought Plankton was the real villain.
April Fools. Jerk.
Wait, don't go!
You stink!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.